Joshua Green directs the Moral Cognition Lab at Harvard's Psychology Department. He describes the scenarios.
A trolley is headed towards 5 people, and they're going to die if you don't do anything, but you can hit a switch that will turn the trolley onto a sidetrack. Unfortunately, there's a person on the sidetrack, and that person will be killed if you turn the trolley. Is it okay to turn the trolley away from the 5 and onto the 1? Case number 2, known as the footbridge case, the trolley is again headed towards 5 people. They'll be killed if you don't do anything. You're on this footbridge over the tracks in between the trolley and the 5. And the only way you can save those 5 people is to push this large person who's standing next to you off of the footbridge and onto the tracks. And the idea is that the person's body will stop the trolley and it'll save the 5.
I would never throw the guy next to me down off the bridge.
I think that's a really hard choice. One is more passive and one is more active, and I think I would have a hard time with the more active choice.
I wouldn't intervene because I would just let nature take its course.
I think I would flip the switch, but I can't say if I would push the larger person.
Well, I'm a big guy, so I would probably jump down there. I wouldn't push anybody off. I would jump down. I'd be that guy that does that, whatever you got to do to trip a switch or get in the way.
The thought is that it's a kind of gut reaction, an emotional response that's making you say, no, don't push the guy off the footbridge. And it's more conscious, deliberate, cost-benefit reasoning that's making you say, well, it's better to save more lives.
Harvard professor Joshua Green has looked at brain scans of people making these moral decisions. Green says deciding whether to pull the switch or push a guy onto the tracks triggers an emotional response in the amygdala,
which is a part of our ancient mammalian emotional system, which is a kind of early warning device that lets us know when there are things in the environment that we need to attend to and that might have some kind of personal significance, especially if they're dangerous. The amygdala is closely connected to a part of the brain called the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which seems to be a general integration hub for emotional signals that bear on decision-making.
If that part of the brain is damaged, those gut reactions don't make it into the decision. Researchers can also manipulate responses with drugs. For example, give someone an SSRI like citalopram, and their emotional response increases. They're more likely to go with their gut reactions. But give someone an anti-anxiety drug like lorazepam, and they're less likely to go with a gut emotional response.
All aboard for Night Train!
So back to that guy on the footbridge. Only about 30% of people say it's okay to push a person onto the tracks. But if you ask the question in a slightly different way and say, okay, well, you don't have to push him, but he's standing on a trap door and you have to flip a switch and release him onto the tracks. Is that okay?
Now that number of people who will say yes doubles to about 60%. So a big chunk of this is the difference between pushing with your hands or harming more indirectly by hitting a switch that opens a trap door.
Apparently, people don't usually want to use personal force against one another, but Harvard's Joshua Green found most people don't realize they're making moral decisions based on this impulse. And this idea extends to real-life situations like physician-assisted suicide or drone warfare.
I think it does suggest that it doesn't feel as bad to drop a bomb from 10,000 feet than it does to slit somebody's throat with a knife. I mean, you can feel that just hearing me say those words, right?
So what kind of a person are you? Do you make moral decisions based on gut reactions, or do you think it through? Green says the gut reaction is kind of like an automatic setting on a camera. It's mostly good, but sometimes it needs to be overridden. We have gut reactions against hurting people, and that's a good thing. But then again, there are situations where physically harming someone can actually promote the greater good. For Philosophy Talk, I'm Caitlin Esch.